お嬢様。
Hello, my lords and ladies, Joe here, and today I'll be recapping and reviewing One Punch Man Chapter 166, Squared. Going into this chapter, I was a little worried. I mean, how do you follow up the absolute banger of a chapter that was 165? It's a little daunting to follow up a 5 out of 5 chapter. But God almighty, this chapter does not disappoint. So let's get into it. First, we have this beautifully colored title page, once again proving Murata is a master of his craft. Yes, that's right, Murata colored this. So if you were ever wondering what Cosmic Fear Garo's color scheme is, look no further. Next, we have Waganma and Child Emperor being the first to fall to a yet unknown force. And what's worse, Child Emperor's Ahoge fell off. Bang, sensing the divine presence within Garou, assumes that Garou is being controlled. And that's when Blast appears. What was said about Blast? That if the world was truly in danger, he would appear?
No, that isn't
God
level threat.
And Blast himself confirms it. Garou, simply using his attacks, is threatening all life on the planet. So his new style of all life eradicating fist isn't just the name, it's the real deal. But even more, Garou's presence is death. He's emitting cosmic radiation that spells doom for those around him. You need to be resistant to it to even get close to him. Blast tries to take the diplomatic route and asks Garou to leave this dimension with him to cut off the harm he is causing. But what I find really interesting is that Blast isn't beaming with confidence like we saw when he introduced himself to Saitama and Flashy Flash. When he is contemplating if they have to fight, he doesn't know who's going to win. He simply says that they both have similar powers, the ability to manipulate reality of the cosmos. Now this really got my noggin a-jogging. If Blast's powers are similar to Garou's, and Garou's powers were given to him by God, and Blast and God seem to be extremely intimate with each other, I'm wondering if Blast has a more direct connection to God than just being adversarial. Maybe Blast was also imbued with the powers of God, but figured out a way to control them and even turn against God with them. Just a theory. I'm really interested to get more information on the Blast-God dynamic. And on top of that, Blast confirms that Garou only got a small portion of God's power. This can be interpreted two ways. That God is that strong that him only giving a touch of power was enough to create Cosmic Fear Garou. Or, because of Garou's strength and potential, he expanded the divine power he received, much like his techniques, he improved upon it, even if it was a little bit. Anyway, Garou has finally accomplished his goal and has become the true symbol of evil. He wants to see how humanity will evolve in the wake of his presence. This has always been Garou's motivation. He wanted to become the ultimate monster, and that his oppressive presence would not only teach humanity a lesson about how heroes won't always save you, but he also figured that it would end all war, as humanity would be too focused on him to fight amongst themselves. So yeah, Garou just wants world peace, y'all. Best girl Monaco is trying to make some distance between her and her crazy stalker, Amai Mask. But even at this distance, the cosmic radiation is taking its toll. And just like the children earlier, Taero too has fallen. But Genos, once again proving he has more heart than brains, with only his torso still intact, charges headfirst into Garou. Now, of course, this does nothing to Garou, as he holds Genos by the head. Now, something very interesting happens here. Garou starts to learn intimate details about Genos. I think by him coming into contact with Genos, specifically his head, he is able to read his mind. That's how crazy Garou's learning ability has become with this divine power. Not only can he learn your techniques simply by seeing them, but he can learn things about you simply by touching. He knows that Genos is Saitama's apprentice, and, as we'll see later, he knows Genos' anatomy. Well, Blast has seen enough and he wants to get Garou out of this dimension, so he throws his first attack, Dimensional Cannon. And easy dodge for Garou, but Blast isn't done. I'd just like to say it's been a long time coming to see Blast fight. With a name like Blast, you'd think he'd just be an explosion man, but his fighting style seems to be focused around portals. And with these portals, he gets the drop on Garou and successfully seals him. But Garou, having seen Blast's techniques, even for a moment, has already learned them, creating a portal of his own, emerging from it with the same pose that Blast used when he first showed up. And now, using his own and Blast's techniques, Garou begins his counteroffensive. Blast, showing that he's no slouch, transfers the explosions of Garou's nuclear fission attacks to the heavens, and then uses the effect of the gravity knuckle to then absorb the explosions. And also, what a beautiful panel. I feel like you could know nothing about One Punch Man and still see this and go, I don't know what's going on here, but I know it's pretty epic. Well, after this, Garou deems Blast unworthy of his time, still focusing on Saitama. He wants Saitama to get serious, so he will be able to copy him at full strength and then improve upon it. And if I didn't know any better, that would absolutely terrify me. To make Saitama serious, he's going to need to take something away from him. Having learned of their relationship and of Genos' core, Garou drives his hand into Genos' chest. And the next page is pure black. Now, I know what this page is designed to do. A pure black page to represent Genos' death. It's a powerful image. The symbolism is clear. Now, it might just be that One Piece has jaded me with its constant death fake-outs, but I'm not buying it. And I hate that I'm not buying it. I wish I could believe that Garou just killed Genos. The next image continues the macabre imagery of black rain. The end of the world. The blood of a machine. And to witness it all, Saitama returns. I love this panel. No overt rage. No welling up of sadness. Just a straight face with a dreadful stare as black rain falls upon him. Almost as if he's covered in Genos' blood. Remember, a crux of Saitama's character is that he feels like he's lost something that makes him human. It's hard for him to feel anything, but he stands there. He failed to protect Genos. The consequences of his apathy. In an attempt to get Saitama to fight seriously, Garou mocks his tardiness and tosses him what is essentially Genos' heart. Boy, that is definitely the most gruesome shot of Genos I have ever seen. Not even the acid bath from the Sea King was that bad. It's actually a little disturbing. Not only is there a gaping hole in his chest, but it appears that half of his head is caved in. And while I don't think he's dead, he certainly looks dead. Ghastly so. It actually got a visceral reaction out of me. But he can't be dead. Can he? Saitama reflects on this for a moment. That he always shows up late. That perhaps he doesn't have the intuition of a hero. You can see that he's contemplating breaking his promise to Tairo not to kill Garou. A hero would keep his promise. But perhaps Saitama isn't a hero after all. Also, things to note here. Zombie Man is down. This cosmic energy is no joke. It's attacking on a cellular level that even what for all purposes is an immortal is being affected. Also, King, what a gentleman. The fact that he was able to hold on long enough to remove his shirt to cover Fubuki? Impressive. Also, it looks like he's been working out. Maybe he's been inspired by Saitama and is actually trying to get into fighting condition. Also, Flashy Flash is still conscious. This man cannot stop with the feats. Then we have the return of the serious face. The next page says it all. Literally. Killer move, serious. Genos' core in one hand, the other clenched in a fist. He unleashes the same attack that countered Boros' collapsing star roaring cannon and killed Boros himself. The serious punch. What I really like about this panel is that it harkens back to the time that Saitama and Genos sparred. Very fitting, considering the circumstance. But Garou, having seen the punch, in an instant returns to his Saitama mode and copies the technique. Serious punch versus serious punch. An impact that will shatter the very planet itself. What a chapter. Seeing Blast fight for the first time, the death of Genos, quote unquote. I don't know, guys, I just can't accept it. I think there'll be either some time travel shenanigans or Garou, having read Genos' mind, knew exactly how to damage him critically without killing him. Let me know if you think Genos is really dead or how you think he's going to come back. Anyway, amazing chapter. Every time I want to give it a 4 out of 5 stars, I just think of that Garou versus Blast panel or that Saitama panel, and I feel like I have to give it a 5 out of 5. Much like how the fan base likes to rate dragon levels being either high dragon or low dragon, I think this is a low 5 out of 5. As for the next chapter, I'm sure we're going to have Blast teleport them off planet or perhaps even to another dimension to prevent the cataclysmic impact. Garou is going to have his NANI moment going up against Saitama, who will still outclass him in every way. He'll probably grow even more desperate and pull out some ridiculous attacks, only to not even phase Saitama. Perhaps Garou will claim to have improved upon Saitama's abilities and then use his version of the serious punch. We will just have to see. Remember to like and sub, hit that notification bell if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the world of tomorrow.